Hello everyone, my name is Diego. Welcome to my channel. It is officially October 10th, 2016, inching ever so closer to October 31st Halloween. But October 9th, it was the cold, starry night in Sacramento, California. It was SmackDown's exclusive pay-per-view of the month, No Mercy. And here we are, just a few hours later. We're going to go over the matches, the finishes. I'm going to touch on a few things here and there, and we're going to match everything up to my predictions I made from my video that I uploaded earlier in the day. So let's start with the first match that happened on the pre-show that I did not get a chance to watch. I actually tuned in to the actual pay-per-view itself about 10 minutes late. Not too late, but 10 minutes late. So the first match on the pre-show was the Hype Bros and American Alpha defeated the Ascension and the Vaudevillains. Could not tell you how the finish went. It was a 9-minute match, 8-man tag team match. Your winners are the Hype Bros and American Alpha, the babyface tag team. So let's move on to the next match. The first match of the actual pay-per-view. Surprise, surprise, the news broke earlier in the day. I got an email about it, and this is like the only email I ever checked in I don't know how long. But the email broke, and then as soon as I got the email, I checked Twitter. It was blown up everywhere. Big news. The first match on the card was the triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You can't make this stuff up, people. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it should have been the main event. This would have been the match everyone would have been hot for, because everyone would have been like, oh, well, John Cena can't win his 16th world title in Ric Flair. And then, the women and everyone under the age of, 12 would have been like, oh, well, who's Ric Flair? John Cena needs to win his 16th title of the world. And so, they had a good story and everything going into it. They were going all out with their promos and everything for this match. Everyone was on fire. Dean, John, AJ, they were all on fire for their feud heading into this match, but they put it as the first match. AJ Styles defeated Dean Ambrose and John Cena, which I did predict to happen, although I did predict that John Cena would not be the one taking the pin. Dean Ambrose would be the one taking the pin, because usually in triple threat matches, sadly, that's what Dean's there for. He's usually there to take the pin. But, John Cena's nearing the tail end of his career. He put Styles over. Originally was Ambrose and Cena both put their submissions on AJ Styles, but the match was restarted by the ref. Dean Ambrose got a calf crusher on AJ, and then Cena came in and put an STF on AJ at the same time, and then a few seconds later AJ tapped. There was no clear winner. Ref had to restart the match. AJ Styles rolled outside of the ring. Dean Ambrose gave a dirty deeds to John Cena, and then inside comes AJ Styles with a steel chair, hits Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose rolls outside the ring, hits John Cena with a steel chair, gets the pin 1, 2, 3 on John Cena, and still your WWE World Champion, AJ Styles. So let's move on to the next match. I'm going to get done with this one quickly. Nikki Bella defeated Carmella. Sloppy match. There was a specific schoolboy roll-up pin that they did somewhere in the match. It was the sloppiest thing I've ever seen. But I predicted Carmella to go over, but WWE, they can't have Nikki Bella win too much, all right? You got to get that money off Total Divas and Total Bellas, all right? Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Nikki Bella won, because they can't ruin her brand, and they can't technically, in a way, bury her or dethrone her in the eyes of fans, because she has that fan base that she can't lose of the reality TV shows of Total Divas and Total Bellas. So Nikki Bella defeated Carmella. Yeah, I really didn't pay attention to it. The match was sloppy. Not saying that women can't wrestle, but I don't think they can put on a very good match together. Next match was Heath, Slater, and Rhino going against the Usos for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I predicted the Usos to win this one. Thank God they didn't. Thank God I was wrong for once. But although I did say if Heath, Slater, and Rhino did win, it would be Rhino getting the tag, goring the hell out of both of the Usos, and then getting the pin. So I did get that prediction right. I said if Heath, Slater, and Rhino were winning, that's what was going to happen, and that's what did happen. Well, I'm pretty sure that everyone thought that was going to happen if Heath, Slater, and Rhino were going to win, because that's what always happens. Rhino gets the hot tag, even though Heath did get his fair amount of good offense in the match. Rhino was the one who got the hot tag and gored both of the Usos, and then he got the pin 1, 2, 3. Still, your WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Heath, Slater, and Rhino. Next match was Baron Corbin defeating Jack Swagger. I predicted this to happen. Baron Corbin got a ton of offense into the match until Jack got him in the ankle lock, and then Baron Corbin reversed the ankle lock, thumbed Jack in the eye, and then hit Jack with the end of days, and then Baron Corbin defeated Jack Swagger in what was probably, the shortest match on the card. So there's that. Next match was a really good one. This has to be match of the night candidate, that or the World Championship match with AJ Dean and Cena. Dolph Ziggler defeated The Miz. I predicted The Miz to go over and Dolph's career to be over. My friends, Josh and Andy, are pretty happy, I'm sure, that Dolph won, but whatever. I'm sure he's going to lose that title on Tuesday anyways. I wouldn't be surprised. Now that I think about it, that if he loses that title back to The Miz. But they told a good story in this match. The Miz, everything he's done pretty much to retain the title and against every single one of his opponents in the past months, he pulled out all the stops to try to win dirty in this match. The Spirit Squad came out. Marie sprayed him in the eye with something. The Miz took his boot for some reason. He took his boot off. I don't know. And Dolph was selling it. For some reason. He's like, "Oh, he took my boot off. I can't pin him after I just hit him with my finisher because he took my boot off." It was weird, but you know Dolph, you know how he sells. Guy sells like a crazy man. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler defeated The Miz. They told a good story in this match of the night, or one of the matches of the night, that or the WWE World Championship match. Good story, some good wrestling. Let's see where they go with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler and The Miz are now both tied. Equal amount of Intercontinental Championships. They both have 5. So that's interesting. The next match was Naomi against Alexa Bliss. It was as everyone knows, originally supposed to be Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I predicted that if that match went down, which I knew it wasn't at the time of recording the early predictions video, that the match wasn't going down. But I said if it was still going to be Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch would win. But on the contrary, I said whoever they put Alexa Bliss against tonight, she's going over them. I don't know why they put Naomi over Alexa Bliss. I really don't. If you actually go back and look at the match, it kind of looks like a botch. Alexa Bliss had Naomi in an armbar, and then Naomi happened to get out of that armbar, put a roll-up pin, kind of sloppy pin, near the ropes on Alexa Bliss, and it kind of looked like a botch. Very unexpected. That was also another sloppy match. The women's matches tonight were sloppy. They can put on good matches, but they just weren't good tonight. Especially Naomi and Alexa Bliss. Other than Becky Lynch, they're the best on the SmackDown women's roster when it comes to wrestling and athleticism. But it looked like a botch. Let's see where they go from here. I hope they don't take the belt off of Becky and put it on someone like Nikki Bella or Naomi. They don't. If they're gonna take the belt off her, which I don't think they won't, because Becky should and hopefully, please, get well soon. But they shouldn't take the belt off her and then put it on another babyface of the women's division on SmackDown. They should put it on Carmella, which I don't think they will do. The obvious thing here is they have to put that belt on Alexa Bliss. Sorry, if they're gonna take that belt off Becky. If they do it Tuesday next month at the pay-per-view, whatever they do, it's obvious they have to have the belt on Alexa. I don't want to see Nikki as champion. Naomi, maybe. Nikki doesn't need it. Maybe Naomi needs it. Carmella, I think she's just too fresh, although she is getting really good, and she's convinced me that she's a very good heel and a very good character in the role she's playing right now. I think it's too early for Carmella. Nikki doesn't need it. She has her Total Bellas and Total Divas crap to worry about. She's one of the worst wrestlers on that SmackDown women's roster, even though she's improved. And yeah, she came back from a really bad neck injury, but that doesn't mean she's a 5-star, well-traveled, honed her craft, amazing wrestler. So Nikki doesn't need it. Carmella doesn't need it. Naomi or Alexa Bliss are the obvious candidates for who should get that title. And it's weird because Naomi just defeated the number one contender for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. So you think that would make Naomi either like so that would slot her into that position or make her number two contender and make it a triple threat between Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Becky. But we'll see how that goes. We'll find out Tuesday. Get well soon, Becky. That's all I have to say. Let's move on to the main events of the evening. So the main event of the evening, there's only one match left. It was Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. I've been so-so on this feud. When it comes to the type of supernatural and weird and freaking paranormal type shit they're doing in this feud, I don't like that in my professional wrestling, even though it is associated with Bray Wyatt's character. I'm not about it. This is the most supernatural, weird, paranormal freaking Twilight Zone shit I've seen in Bray Wyatt's feuds before, I think. Very weird stuff. There was a vignette backstage where Randy Orton was looking into a mirror. God, it's some weird stuff, guys. It's some very weird stuff. But I did predict that Bray Wyatt would defeat Randy Orton very confidently, I might add, in my predictions last night. And he did defeat Randy Orton. The crowd for the most part was dead. The match wasn't that good. One thing I have to add is a lot of people. I checked my Twitter after the match, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Bray Wyatt can't put on good matches. That match was terrible." To that, I'm gonna add real quick. Go watch his match with Daniel Bryan, and I know everyone has good matches with Daniel Bryan. I could probably have a good match with Daniel Bryan because it's Daniel Bryan. But go watch his match, Royal Rumble 2014, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. Best match on that card. Best match of that month in January 2014. So there's that to everyone who wants to say Bray Wyatt can't put on a good match. This was just a lackluster match for main event. Main event should have been the WWE World Championship match. Bray and Randy could have started out the card. They could have just swapped it, or they could have put Bray and Randy in the middle. So the way the match went, the crowd was mostly dead for the most part of it. I wasn't paying attention to it for the most part. I was talking to someone for a good part of a lot of these matches because other than the Intercontinental Championship and World Title match, not very many of the matches were that compelling. Sorry, I'm going to have to go out there and say it. If it's not compelling wrestling, I'm not going to sit there and be glued to the TV. So I was sitting there talking to someone for a good part of some of these matches until the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes, they got really hot. I'll explain. So the way it went, Bray Wyatt took Randy out, they started brawling at the announcers' tables outside of the ring. And then Randy Orton eventually got the upper hand on Bray, and he took him to the apron. Randy Orton set up Bray for his patented second rope DDT, which he hit, and then he was getting his little Randy Hulk Hogan Orton hyped up phase. He was slamming his fist around on the mat. He was getting hyped up for his RKO, and then hits the Bray Wyatt effect. You know, the thing that changes up the TV, the whole blah, 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 and it cuts to Luke Harper, who is returned from injury now. I thought he was going to go to Raw because the reports were that he was on some Raw live events, but he's on SmackDown, I'm guessing, unless he can be on both shows because, you know, they're supernatural and whatnot. But Bray Wyatt hit Randy Orton with his sister Abigail after Luke Harper and Randy Orton had their little stare down, and Bray Wyatt defeated Randy Orton 1, 2, 3 as I predicted. So overall, for No Mercy, I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10, I guess. Not very many of the matches were compelling. AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match had the best wrestling. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz had the best storytelling. Last 2 minutes, for the main event were really good. But other than that, nothing really stood out that much other than those 2 matches that I just mentioned on this card. As far as my predictions go, I got 3 of my predictions correct. I predicted AJ Styles to retain his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I predicted Baron Corbin to defeat Jack Swagger, and I predicted Bray Wyatt to defeat Randy Orton. I got 3 matches wrong, and technically 4, I guess. But I predicted Carmella to defeat Nikki Bella, and Nikki Bella won. I predicted the Usos to defeat Heath, Slater, and Rhino, and Heath, Slater, and Rhino won. I predicted Dolph Ziggler to defeat The Miz, but wait, no, I predicted The Miz to defeat Dolph Ziggler. Sorry about that. And Dolph Ziggler won. And I predicted Alexa Bliss to go over whoever she was facing tonight, but she didn't. But I'm sure it was a botch, and that's that. So that was my review of WWE No Mercy and my follow-up video to the early predictions video I made earlier in the day. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, rate, subscribe, all that hot jazz, and have a good one.